Hey friends, my name is Aki Dearest. So a few days ago I received a message from a viewer of my channel, and in the message was a link to an article that you could pretty much say that didn't exactly make Aki happy. But the article was the announcement for a conference by the United Nations to hold a review regarding Japan's rights on women. Now here's the article for you guys, and I have been kind enough to highlight the one sentence that's actually been quite the topic within the anime community, and that is banning the sale of video games and cartoons involving sexual violence against women. So this includes a very good amount of visual novels, almost every single eroge game, and a good amount of hentai, including tentacle hentai. Sorry. And don't worry, I've already told Noble and Joey, and yes, they've been holding each other for about 3 days crying over it. While I, on the other hand... Cheers! Oh my god. This conference was already held on February 16th, and if you guys want to see the entire conference, then I'll put a link down in the description, but mind you, 90% of it is in Japanese, and it's extremely long and in terrible quality. But all you guys need to know is that by the end of it, big surprise, no actual decision was made in regards to trying to ban video games and anime. So this video is going to go over the topic of whether or not you guys think that banning video games and banning the anime and hentai that have rape play and that have sexual violence would actually be effective enough to eliminate discrimination against women. I mean, personally for me, I don't think any gender should be discriminated against. Both genders can be sexually violated. Now, because this is a touchy subject, I decided to go on Twitter and Facebook first to ask you guys what your thoughts on it were, and I can definitely say about like 90% of you were completely against it, while the other side was on the fence about it. And most of you guys actually had very good points. And it's true, there are anime and there are hentai, and there are video games that do not glorify sexual violence, but do pertain it in a different light. An example that was given was the video game called Misao. It does have aspects of rape, but it doesn't glorify it. It actually uses it in order for you to hate the antagonist. And the first anime to come up in my head was actually Elfen Lied. Now, although it doesn't actually show the rape, it does have a lot of hints of rape, and it sheds the seriousness behind what we know sexual violence to be. And I completely agree that sexual violence is something to be taken very seriously, and it's something that should never happen to anyone. But let's not sugarcoat it, there are a ton of anime and eroge games and hentai that actually do use rape play as a fetish. And that's another thing, it's a fetish. So even if you took away the anime and you took away the games that actually had rape play, would it change our views on sexual violence? Now, a lot of you guys already know that I'm actually a fan of hentai, and I've taken the pleasure, no pun intended, of watching a lot of different genres of it. And the perfect example of a hentai that I've seen that definitely glorifies rape to its extremes is definitely the hentai called Euphoria. Euphoria is a hentai that includes anything and everything extreme about sexual violence. In fact, it's so extreme that I can't even tell if it's trying to pertain to the fetish or if it's actually trying to put sexual violence in a negative light. Not that I'm saying you guys should watch it, but this is just an example. So being a fellow hentai fan, I don't believe that even if you took away the anime or the hentai or the eroge games, it doesn't make the problem disappear. Sexual violence will still happen in real life. Now, this entire argument also reminds me of the endless amounts of debates of whether or not violence in video games promotes actual violence. But this is a very sensitive topic, and it's been a debate that's been going on about multiple things, not just with anime, for a very long time. And I think the biggest flaw in this is between fantasy and reality, especially with something like sexual violence where it's already meant to be 18 and up, and you should kind of already be old enough to understand fantasy versus reality, rather than when you're a little kid and a lot of the actions that you do are influenced by cartoons. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of visual novels and eroge games are actually put out in 2 different versions. There's always a clean version and there's always an 18 and up version. But once again, this is just my opinion, and I have an open mind to whatever you guys have to say about this topic. So I hope you guys take something from this video and that you guys try and think for yourselves on it. And subscribe to my channel for more anime content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!